I'm back with 10 more AI art / Midjourney styles for you to add to the end of your prompt, separated by a comma to get some images much like these ones on screen that were generated using Midjourney version 7. Now the first is a stippling style ink drawing, which is a form of shading where you create little dots with your pen. So this is a nice simple art style to try with your images. They generally will turn out black and white and have like a dotted shading style, and they're pretty consistent results. As you can see from these images here, you do get a nice artistic look. Everything is really consistent with the actual subject. There's no crazy transformations. It's more just the way that it adds in the shading. So this can be great if you're looking for something a little bit more artistic and a little bit more drawn when you're generating your images. But I love the way it actually handles the shadow and the light. It creates a really, really awesome looking image, awesome looking art style, and does have a little bit more of a handmade feel to it. But for something completely different, we have in the style of the Voynich Manuscript. And I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but it's an old manuscript that was found from about 500 years ago. One of those things where people haven't been able to decipher the language with it. So I thought I'd try it out, and I got some pretty interesting images. So a lot of the time we get little almost like coat of arms style artwork, kind of like this, and then we just get other issues or other pages of the script with our characters kind of plopped in there. But either way, it carries an old-fashioned style of illustration, usually carrying some text, bit of an aged look. So it's similar to some of the styles we've tried in the past, but there's a few differences in the elements and the way it handles some of the sort of composition of the images. So a really cool style to play with. This one was one I wanted to see, which is in the style of a cinematic vertical color streak poster. So I just saw a poster like this and thought I'd try to get a style down for it, and I managed to get this one here. You seem to get mostly these sort of vertical, almost rainbow style streaks across the image. Looks very cinematic and looks a lot like a poster, and it was extremely consistent. This one worked really well, even down to how cinematic a lot of these images were. So this is definitely one that you can try if you really like this effect, if you're really looking to create a poster with this kind of look. And I really love the way it's actually gone with the colors of Optimus Prime here, with the blue on the left and the red on the right, and this old-fashioned look with the dog. So I've mixed things up a little bit, changed a few of the subjects here, but overall you can see how this effect works, and it works pretty well. But as a news Anchorman, it's very similar to something I've tried in the past, and it tends to create very old-fashioned style kind of news anchors. Like the woman's face, she kind of looks like a news anchor in a bit, but you can see we've got Darth Vader sitting in the newsroom. He's about to start the evening's presenting, and Batman, he's in a suit wearing a newspaper. I just love the way it takes characters and transforms them. I have the face of a lion, another news subject I'm trying out this week, and the family dog at home. Everyone's sitting there ready, dressed in their best, ready to present the news, although the Terminator's lost the sleeves to his jacket. Now, if you want some truly unique styles, don't forget to check out my mood board pack. Over 100 mood boards you can add to your images. But also, check out my Midjourney style pack. Over 1,000 styles you can apply to your Midjourney prompts to get some pretty stunning images. Links to both are in the description below. Next, in the style of Tintin. This one kind of zigzags around a little bit, but sometimes it'll transform the character, put them into some old school kind of clothing, and that happens a lot, and it has a bit of a transformative style. Like sometimes it changes the actual style depending on, I guess, what the model is actually drawing from, but you kind of get this cool drawn style. Optimus Prime has had a few different bits and pieces added to him, but sometimes you do get vast transformations like you do with Darth Vader here, relying more on that older element, and Superman looking like he's directly from like a Tintin book, something like that. But you can see how it changes a lot of the way that people are dressed, some of the art style, and it just has a nice, fun, sort of almost playful vibe, very cartoony style, although the line here doesn't quite look like it, but I thought that was a cool image, so I shared it. But here's one for the Aussies, at least, dress in High-Vis. So you can see everyone here looks like they're dressed to go to work, High-Vis, Super Saiyan Goku, even Mario. So everyone's got their safety on. Now, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Australia, you see people wearing this stuff everywhere. And I thought this would be a lot of fun to dress the Statue of Liberty in high-vis clothing, and especially the Hulk dressed in that really common sort of high-vis style button-up jacket, whereas Optimus Prime, he is just high-vis in general. So this just really, if you're from Australia at least, this just works quite well and really matches what you see around town when you go downtown. So I thought this was a lot of fun to play with, and it absolutely nailed the style of jacket. So definitely one I thought was worth sharing. But moving on, we have in the style of Hieronymous Bosch. So I've been sharing and talking about Hieronymous Bosch a little bit lately in videos, but I've never actually tried the style out for these style videos. So I tried it out, and like with the Statue of Liberty here, add some detail, but it didn't really go with the style. But most of the time we do get something that resembles some old aged work. The Terminator here, we managed to get RoboCop for some reason, although his dome is painted. But overall, most of the time it tends to nail that style, add in a lot of detail, get that painted style look to it, that same color, level of detail, and overall just a lot of fun to get something that resembles his work, at least to some degree. I don't believe it works quite as well as, say, the mood board I experimented with in a previous video, but it does work pretty well and create some pretty unique images for AI art. But while we're talking about artists, we have in the style of Vermeer. So popular for the girl with the pearl earring. It tends to lean a little bit, not only on just the painted look like with Hulk here, but often it adds in like the same kind of attire, like the little head scarf or whatever it is that she's wearing. The pearl earring here, the Statue of Liberty, looks a lot like the girl with the pearl earring. And it's just sort of gone for more of a period style costume with Batman and again with Goku, little frilly neck sort of decoration there. And Optimus Prime looking a little bit different. But this one also, just another fun style to play with, the way it dresses the people up in that period style. But every now and then it goes straight back to the girl with the pearl earring and dresses the subject in a similar way. So it leans quite heavily on that piece of artwork. But inspired by Odilon Redon. So this one didn't quite work as well as I hoped, but I still got something out of it. It doesn't quite go for the weird, odd, surreal monsters he used to draw, but we do get that pastel-y vibe. We do get some good images, and every now and then something a little bit transformative, but the vibe's kind of there, just not that crazy, monstrous sort of subject matter. Although this one of the Hulk I thought was nice and creepy, and I really liked the way that one turned out. But if you like the way it transforms some of these images and the look it gets, definitely try this one out. I was really happy with the Terminator here. It just turned out a little bit different than I expected. But finally, we have this inspired by a haunting ghost. So I've played with ghosts and spirits in the past in Midjourney, but I really love what this one did. Now, that Goku one is quite unique. The rest of them tend to have a bit of a blue glow, a bit of an eerie vibe, or a bit of a misty vibe. You can see how everything looks very spooky and haunted, and there's definitely a lot of mist or smoke and energy coming off a lot of these characters. This one of Pikachu is probably my favorite in this lineup because he just looks super creepy. But otherwise, it has a lot to do with that cool color palette and adding in that mist, and it just has a fun impact on the images. And of course, Darth Maul just kind of looks like he's got a lot of smoke around him. It's actually not as spooky, but you go to something like the Samurai and just the mood is spooky, and there's not really a lot adding to that. Whereas Superman, he looks almost like an undead kind of ghost-like villain, and Batman just looks like a ghost himself. So once again, had a bit of fun with that. See what you think. But those are the styles for this week, guys. I hope you found them useful, and if you did, please consider giving the video a like. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.